out here from the village in the rain. I suppose I should try to cooperate. I'll have Vicky take you up to the several rooms you've never seen. Perhaps you may find something." Soon Vicky had found herself at the top of the old mansion with the stout man. She was not too familiar with this part of the house. The few times she'd visited the dank, musty room, she'd been with Elizabeth, so she actually had little idea of what they might discover. "This part of the house has no electricity," she told the man from Bangor. "It's used so little, Mrs. Stoddard decided not to have the wiring extended up here, so we'll have to make do with the rather poor light from the window." The stout man raised a thick hand to dismiss any worries on this score. He strayed over to a large brown jug-like clay vase. Checking it carefully, he said, "I can use this. It's an umbrella stand." Vicky said, "I'm sure Mrs. Stoddard will be glad to sell it to you. I've heard her describe it as ugly." The big man smiled at her in the gloom of the shadowed room. "My customers will regard it as quaint." She stood by as he continued to poke and pry among the stacked-up contents of the room. The rain outside was heavier now, and it came in great bursts to slither down the outside of the dusty panes and give the gray world beyond a distorted shape. She shuddered a little as the dampness crept into her. The day and her surroundings had given her a feeling of depression. Mr. Smallwood gathered a number of items to the middle of the small room, then advanced to the stacked prints and began going through them. After a little, he selected 2 of them, scenes of country life long ago, in ornate gilt frames which were covered with a layer of dust and grime. "Always can handle a little art," he said in his good-natured fashion, as he put the prints with a pile of other things. As he did so, a yellowed sheet fell from where it had been attached to the back of one of them. It was about 12 by 16 inches in size. "What's this?" he asked as he quickly retrieved it from the floor in a pudgy hand and frowned as he stared at it. Vicky joined him and studied the sheet of stiff paper from beside him. She saw that it was the drawing of a young woman in clothes suggesting the early years of the present century. Close examination showed that the girl's face had an exquisite yet sad cast of features. Her eyes were caught by some lettering at the very bottom of the pencil drawing. The caption read, "Paula, by Barnabas Collins, 1910. Mr. Smallwood seemed greatly interested in the drawing. He turned to her. "You know anything about this? Who this Paula or Barnabas Collins could be?" Vicky was fascinated by the wistful beauty of the girl depicted in the drawing. The high forehead, the perfect nose, and delicate chin all united to make a lovely face. And the eyes that stared off into the distance were gentle and yet penetrating. The artist had done his work well. She frowned slightly as she studied the work. "I've no idea who Paula might be. We did have a Barnabas Collins visiting here a little while ago. A cousin of Mrs. Stoddard's from England." "Was he an artist?" Vicky shook her head. "Not that I know of." She hesitated. "And anyway, it couldn't possibly have been drawn by him. He's a comparatively young man." Mr. Smallwood looked interested. "Is this Barnabas Collins returning here?" "I don't know," she confessed. "He didn't mention that he would." The stout man stared at the drawing again. "Too bad. He might be able to tell us something about this. I sort of like it anyway. I think I'll buy it." And he placed it carefully against the 2 frame prints he'd selected. Mr. Smallwood didn't linger long after that, returning downstairs with Vicky to dicker with Elizabeth Stoddard about the price of the various items he wished to purchase. Elizabeth showed surprise when he handed the sketch to her. She said, "Where did you find this?" "It fell out of the back of one of the prints," Vicky explained.